Welcome to another video, A Walk with Phil, and I'm in Guernsey. In fact, I'm here in the main town of Guernsey called St Peter Port, and I'm sitting with someone here who can give me a little bit more history of the island. It's Victor Hugo sitting next to me at the moment. Actually, it's just a statue, of course. It was erected here in 2021, commemorating one of Guernsey's famous residents, Victor Hugo, who is exiled here from 1855 till 1870, and he wrote the famous book Les Miserables, and he finally went back to France in 1870 when the political situation changed, but yeah, he spent 15 years here, and some of his best works were written here on Guernsey. Anyway, what I'm doing is I'm going to take you around a little bit of St Peter Port, just show you some of the weird and odd curiosities that I've come across as I've been walking around here. So yeah, let's go and have a look and see what else we can find. Just here I also found something a little interesting. This is called the Albion House Tavern, and apparently it's in the Guinness Book of Records for a pub that's the closest to a church. And the reason it's in the Guinness Book of Records as the nearest pub to a church is because there's a gargoyle just at the top there, at the top of the church, and that means that the distance from the gargoyle to the church, to the tavern, is quite small indeed. And of course that's the reason why it's in the Guinness Book of Records. Just let you zoom in on that if you can read that. Just here on the island, here on one of the esplanades that run along the front of St Peter Port, is this huge mast that they've erected on the island, complete with bird's nest and lookout and all the rigging. As you look towards the harbour, this is where you catch the boat to Herm Island. The boat generally pulls in here for you to board. Towards the end of this particular path you'll find the ticket office for Sark. I'm not sure where you would find where you would catch the boat to Alderney. Just to show you St Peter Port with its main drag there to the right. There's an area here that's been created to celebrate the liberation of the island of Guernsey. There's a liberation stone built there that was unveiled in 2005 by the Queen Elizabeth II. Another little oddity I've come across just here on the main drag here in St Peter Port is this iron fencing that surrounds what once was a fountain. It's inscribed with the date of 1861, and it's even got benches to sit either side of it as well. Yeah, just in the distance there you can just see Herm Island. I'm standing by a pub, and I'm standing here by a pub called the Thomas de la Rue. And Thomas de la Rue is famous because the plaque at the front of the pub said he was the founder of the House of de la Rue. Doesn't really tell you much, does it? Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to have a walk along the main shopping area of St Peter Port, and there are very old areas as well of the town. You can tell by some of the paving slabs themselves, they look very, very old. And in fact, by Trinity Square there is what is known as the old quarter of St Peter Port, and it's very old in terms of the houses. Some of them are dated from early 1600s along there, So it's probably worth a visit if you come this way. Go and have a look at the old quarter. So yeah, let's go and have a look at some of the shops around here. And also we'll see if we can still see a few oddities and quirks of this town. The busiest times I've found has been between 12 and 2, since everything stops for lunch, and all the cafes and little restaurants along here are jam-packed. You're lucky to get a table between 12 and 2 if you're not early. Another little oddity as well, some of them don't open on a Monday. This one, Chop, the old chop house, that one gets very busy as well. As you can see, look, you can see all the cobbled streets signifying how old this particular area is. There's the old slabs that you walk on. There's the cobbled streets. Another busy cafe. Today's a Saturday morning. Today is the day when I leave the island. I just came for the week. Weather's been against me, I'm afraid. But nevertheless, I managed to get to see a few interesting places, especially the islands. It's a bit compact, so you're rubbing shoulders with a few people as you walk along here. There's a lot of the big name stores that you see along here that you'll see in West Bromwich as well. There's a London Barrett there. Here was a Dorothy Perkins store. Now Dorothy Perkins has been closed for a while. You will see the odd empty store, not many though. Got a Millets, and that's very popular here on the island. It's all about walking here. Because when you come here, you're going to do nothing but walk. Just here we got, well, what would you call that? Well, it says it's a crêpe maison. In West Bromwich it would be known as the Crepe House. Or near enough. The card factory. And of course we've got Boots. It's here on the left. There's a lot of hilly parts as well. We'll have a walk up here. Creases is a popular shop. I've seen 3 or 4 of those, I think. Another one of those oddities that you'll see on the island. I think there's about, what, apparently there's over 20 of them in St Peter Port. Wouldn't know how many there are on the island, but you can see these pumps. None of them, I don't think any of them are working now. But there was their source of water in the town. There's a handle on the right and the tap in front of it. Yeah, you'll see quite a few of these pumps have been restored, but none of them were built of a standard gauge really, and so the parts are all kind of different on these pumps apparently. And the island are well into their recycling as well. Lots of recycling bins around. Handbag stores, high-end stuff. There's a Burton shop here, but it's more like a pop-up shop now with, it's like a baby and kids toy store. There's a lot of little art shops as well that you'll see around. Ahead of me here we have Fat Face.
Yeah, I know, but
It looked as though it was a bank once. It's got the old bank above the door with the date a bit further up of established in 1827. Monsoon. Quiz. Some of these independent jewellers, handbag stores, art stores. We could do with a few of those in West Brom. It's Marks and Spencer's. Just ahead of me down there on the left of this hill, along this cobbled street. Hotel Chocolat. And it's an interesting little cafe, this one. It's called the Coffee Shop and Toastery. And above it, it's got the main name, the Bean Jar. There's a traditional bean casserole that they sell in there. This is another very popular pub, cafe, brasserie and bar. You can see already how it's filling up. There's an old cobbler store. All we have is Timpson's around our parts. Usually a small little cabin tucked away on a car park. Another little oddity here. This post box, painted with some very bright colours. You come away from the tight little streets and there's this big square here. There's another small cafe here which is quite busy, even on a Saturday morning. There is very rarely you see any of the cafes around here that are not doing good. They're all doing well, doing very well. I haven't seen many Turkish barbers around here. You'll see a lot of these as well, these steps that take you up to different levels of the street. There's another street up there, or maybe it's a house up there, but yeah, there's a lot of these very long steps. A bit quieter up this end. This was the old stock exchange, I believe, before they moved. Was it 2012? And ahead of me, we've got a sign up there where it says, "This way to the old quarter." And these are the longest set of steps that I've seen. It's called the Constitution Steps, Escalier de Mont Gibet. And when I looked at it, it reminded me of a Laurel and Hardy short film called The Music Box, where Stan and Ollie attempted to get a piano up there. But these steps in fact look even longer, higher than that one, that set of steps. I've not attempted to climb them. To that very top there, there is some more steps to your left. They seem never ending to me. I'll show you a bit of the old quarter. It's a very old part of the town, and there's a lot of craft shops along here, I noticed. Art studios, art galleries. You've got a tattoo parlour. There are many empty stores along here, and there's a few of them are along here. They're not quite as busy as the newer part of town. We've got a chocolate shop just here as well. There is a Thai restaurant. Here's another sort of shop you don't see much in West Brom, a tailoring shop. Zips replaced and alterations. And here's another one of those home stores full of bric-a-brac, antique shop. And now we're really on the old part of Old Town now, because we've got the cobbled streets are here. It's a very narrow street, but it's not as busy. It's not particularly busy. We've got a cafe here that's not doing too badly, and there's another gallery here on the corner. This was an art studio. See some of the buildings, look how old some of the buildings look. People coming down here more out of curiosity really. Just to experience how old this particular part is. As you can see now. Perhaps it was a thriving area once, but the shops have well and truly closed up here. Pink and blues houses. This shop is called the Old Quarter. The Old Quarter does carry on around here, but for our tour of the shops, I think we're about done here in the Old Quarter. Yeah, just notice this other little curio. Just here to my right, it's in blue. Then you know it's to do with the post, and it's it used to be somewhere where you could buy stamps. I remember these stamp machines next to the old pillar boxes in West Brom, but this was a stamp machine just on its own, and it looks to me as though you could buy a £1 book of stamps, insert 250p coins and pull the knob, then release to obtain the book. It's now used for cigarette butts now, I think. Just show you another oddity here on St Peter Port. Just there in Cornet Street, we've actually got a weather station. Yeah, this weather station was used on a daily basis. It would record the weather using the barometer there. Very difficult to see, it's kind of there. There's the temperature gauge and barometer. There's one of the original written records behind glass. And this weather station is believed to date from the last quarter of the 19th century. Just here on the harbour, and you can see quite a few boats here moored up, and in the distance we've got a clearer view of Cornet Castle, and this says Connaught Landing 1905 on that stone. And we have a statue of Prince Albert on the island there, dated around 1863. And just here, there's a stone plinth dedicated to Queen Victoria and Prince Albert landing here on the 24th of August. Just ahead of me, some very old telephone boxes. They don't work, the phones, I've had a look, they don't work, but they're painted yellow. So, our phone boxes were of course red, but on Guernsey they are yellow. This bus station now, the buses do tend to run fairly regularly, and it's not too badly priced either for where you want to go on the island. The best advice I would give is to get yourself a puffing card where where each journey then is just £1. If you don't use a puffing card, your journeys are around £1.50 each. And the bus stops you can see here at this terminus are very ornate. Like little bandstands. And you've got all the timetables in each one of these little bandstands. There's no, here we've got bus stops, but bus stop signage, but many in the rural areas, when you get off the main high street, the main roads, you have to, for a bus stop, you have to look for the word bus that's written on the pavement or on the road. That is the bus stop. We have a plaque which is dedicated by Guernsey Museums to Peter Lelièvre, 1812 to 1878, and it simply states artist lived here. One of the oldest post boxes in this parish and on the island. In fact, it's a Victoria post box, VR, and it's in the wall. Another oddity for you here. We've seen a Victoria one, we've seen an Edward VII one, and this one's George Rains, GR, blue post box in the wall. Yeah, one of the oddities about this area, there's no bus stops signage. It's usually the word bus written on the pavement, or it could be written on the road. And as you can see here, bus is clearly displayed on the pavement. So if you stand around here, the bus will stop for you. And as you walk along these roads, you can see how narrow the roads are. And as a pedestrian, you're just inches from being hit. And one of the reasons for the congestion on these roads is because many of the drivers now of cars are buying these big SUV type vehicles, which of course are filling up the road, and they come dangerously and perilously close to you on the pavement. And the vehicles have got bigger, but the roads haven't got bigger also to accommodate them. I don't know what the statistics are for pedestrian injuries on the island, but they do look really close at times. I also noticed that none of the cars are ever parking on pavements. Not sure if it's illegal, but I haven't seen any cars on pavements. And also there's a couple of road signs that I've seen. Not sure what the speed limit of this road is, but we've got where we've got 20 mile an hour zones, they have signs that say 25. And where we have 30 mile an hour zones, here on Guernsey they have 35. So that's another little oddity for you. Okay, I'm in the parish of St Martin now, and just here is another little quirk for you. This particular spot is called an abreveur. There is some signage here to explain a bit more detail of what it means, but this is stated it is one of the more than 30 abreveurs in the parish of St Martin, which are looked after by volunteers and the parish douzaine. An abreveur is a cattle watering place. So the cattle is brought along here, and that's where they get their water, and the water comes from the stream underneath that wall just there. Don't see that every day. The pig staring over the wall. Just here is Victor Hugo's residence. He lived here from around 1855 while he was in exile. And I believe Victor Hugo's house now was given to France. Yeah, I think he was a bit of a political dissident, was Hugo. He didn't like Napoleon, so he left and came to live here in Guernsey. I think he went to Belgium first, then he came here to Guernsey. And here was significant because this was the place where he wrote the famous book Les Miserables. But as we say in West Bromwich in the Black Country, Les Miserables. Another little oddity that I found, there are some areas called disc zones, and on the cars you can actually see that they have to display their insurance details on the window of the front, on the windshield, and also they have like a clock what time they park up. And the Royal Mail boxes, the letter boxes, as I said, were in blue. And this one is unusual because it's got Edward VII. That's the first one I've ever seen, Edward VII. Before Victor Hugo moved to the house, his main residence, he did spend around 12 months here at this particular residence, just a little bit further down the hill, from 1855 to 1856. It's now private residence. Well, if you've not seen a cock and bull before, you have now. Oddity for you as we come down the bottom of this hill. Just over the road, it's a Victorian shop. It has been preserved from Victorian times. It's now owned, I believe, by the National Trust. And inside you'll see examples of how the shop was in those days, with its fire range and fire grate, fireplace and shelving, and inside that's usually stocking little bits and pieces from what the National Trust sell, plus jars of old-fashioned sweets, lots of knitting bits and pieces and crochet. Yes. Okay, that's the end of our little walk around St Peter Port here on Guernsey. I did try to show you a few of the little oddities and quirks that you will come across on the island as you walk around. Yeah, on a nice day, St Peter Port here on Guernsey is a fabulous place to be. So if you like the video, hit the like button and also hit subscribe, and also hit the notification bell for future videos, and I'll see you on the next one.